Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at Cube Miracle 8 in particular and how I am actually autoing everything, and it is also really fast. So just take a look at how this works. Now before we get into that, we should understand that recently there was a huge update for Cube Miracle in the sense that it reduced the speed of all the espers in like let's say all the Miramons, right? So for example, the Tia here, she now only has what is this, 273 speed. Previously you could see stuff like 310 speed or 307 speed, and that's insane. That was almost impossible for any sane player to even outspeed. Those were some really dark days, man. But anyway, now that things are a little bit more manageable, right? So for example, the Ira here has 290 speed, which is still incredibly high, but still possible to outspeed, especially since now we have access to the Dislyte lens, which can effectively give you an additional, I don't know, 20 to 30 more speed, which is why this seems a little bit easier to manage. But of course, it's gonna be hard for the majority of you guys, but for most other beta players or players who have played for a longer period of time, this would be a little bit more manageable. And this is the team that I'm running to auto everything. Now, before some of you guys go ahead and say that, oh, because you're using a Clara, that's why you can do this, which I hear every single video. And this annoys me so much because the people out there who do not have Clara do not understand her at all. So the thing is, Clara is a god, yes, but she's not a god in every single content. She's only a god in PvP. And I mean, okay, she's really good for PvE as well, but she is really no different from Heng Yue. In fact, I do feel like Heng Yue can surpass her in certain instances. For example, if you have Heng Yue completely stunned, she is still going to be able to use her passive healing, which is something that Clara cannot do. And in furtherance to that, Heng Yue can also heal past heal blocks, whereas for Clara, she is not able to do so. So honestly speaking, I think Heng Yue is really equivalent to Clara in most cases. So just for the sake of the YouTube, I'm just going to use Heng Yue just to show you guys that she is extremely powerful. I have no idea why you guys think that she is not equivalent to a Clara. She is absolutely equivalent to a Clara. So here you go, Gabriel is going to move first because my Gabriel is slightly faster right now because of the Dislyte lens, and therefore that protects us from Tia, protects us from Ira, protects us from like basically Clara as well. See, boom, completely resisted. Now the thing is, the way my team works is that Jiang is going to go first. She's going to drop her huge AoE, which lends a lot of Nether Bloom debuffs, which you're going to see over here. And then she's quickly followed by Tricky, which I can, maybe I can go sequence mode over here. Okay, so Tricky goes next, almost pops all of the Nether Bloom debuffs, and that's where Zora eventually comes in, does a little bit of AoE attacks, and that generally pops everyone. And as you can see, we are already like, we are almost done with them, right? We are almost done with this particular wave, and this is also on the second floor of Cube 8. So there are 3 stages to Cube 8. We are currently on the second stage, approaching the third stage, and this is still functioning really well. Now, there are some setbacks to this current team, and in particular, if we do face a Hyde comp, that's when we are gonna get screwed a little bit. But the thing is, it's gonna take us a little bit longer to deal with a Hyde, but it's still not impossible, and we are still going to beat it really easily. So the thing is, because we're running a very tanky setup, which I think a lot of you guys tend to not use, a lot of you guys tend to run it faster by using like a speed cleave comp. But now, because we are using a tanky comp, we are going to be able to outlast a lot of their attacks and you know, heal through a lot of the damage that they are dealing to us. And this only took us 1 minute and 23 seconds on auto, which I think is pretty good. I think this is really good. Fantastic. We got Rune and Enchantment right now, which is going to improve using this specific team comp. Now let's move on to harder stuff, and we may get outsped over here. Let's take a look at their speeds. Okay, you're not going to get outsped. We are definitely not going to get outsped. And yeah, I think we're good. So let's take a look at this again. So we are only going to go for mad defenders, and the thing is, even if we are outsped, it's not the end of the world as well. We have a Heng Yue who's going to be able to cleanse all of us in case we have like certain debuffs, right, stuns and all that. So that's still going to be perfectly fine. But obviously you might want to give Heng Yue like, you know, light above relic set. For example, I have her on Avatara because my Clara uses Avatara, but Heng Yue does not need Avatara, so that's something that you can consider. So this team is extremely powerful. You know, I've just like started doing a little bit of an introduction for this second fight again, and we are already almost done. We have already killed one of them, and we are proceeding to, you know, completely demolish the entire team right here. So this team is super fun. In fact, I'm really using Jiang everywhere right now, even in the Temporal Tower as my fodder farmer as well. Like, she's just so strong. Jiang is super strong, and the way that I build her is with 0 attack. She only has crit damage, she has HP, and she has speed. So she's just very fast, very tanky with crit damage, with, well, obviously 100% crit rate as well. but she does not have a lot of attack. And yet she is still performing so well for me. So let's take a look at, can we take a look at the damage spread over here? Maybe you have a better idea of like who's dealing the most damage here, right? And I'm gonna be pretty sure it's, yep, Jiang very closely followed by Zora. Zora is an AoE queen and she does an insane amount of AoE damage, but yet Jiang is still performing so much better. But obviously my Jiang is fully resonated and fully skilled up as well, which could add to that as well. Now we're actually super lucky because now we have Rune of Curses. And a lot of you guys do not understand why I picked this, right? So for example, in my post, my community post that I did a few days ago, I said that I'm using Rune of Curses and I'm really excited about it. And here is exactly why this is the case. So we're going to partake in this. Okay, great. There is no Hyde over here, but there is a Heng Yue. Okay, so there is a Heng Yue. That's where Tricky is going to be very important. Tricky is going to stun lock Heng Yue and all that good stuff, right? So we're actually going to auto Heng Yue to make sure that we get rid of her ASAP because she's going to be the main problem over here. So she cleanse, she's going to get stunned, and we're going to just going to wreck her immediately, right? She's going to do whatever that we can to get rid of her. Look at that, all the poisons. Look at that. Amazing, isn't it? Just all the poison debuffs that you have on the enemies right now, and they are just going to explode and explode and explode. And when they take their turn, they're going to get screwed. So this is the reason why I really, really enjoy using Rune of Curses, and this can give you a very good idea of why that's the case. And this is also the same reason why I tend to not focus so much on attack runes. So maybe I can show you the runes that I have right now, right? So these are the runes that I have right now. None of them, well, apart from Rune of Enchantment, none of them, none of them boost my attack in any way, but yet we are still dealing so much damage. And the reason is very simple. We are just relying on things other than damage, you know, to improve our DPS. Now, we just picked up Rune of Fortitude, and this is going to be so important because, you know, if in case we end up fighting, let's say a Liling, if the Liling uses his his second skill, he's gonna hit a lot, right? But the thing is, we're gonna be perfectly fine. Now, this flaw is gonna screw us, and this is a perfect example of why this team still works. Okay, so we're not gonna perform so well because the Hyde is just going to be immune to everything, and he's gonna get 50 stacks really fast, right? So what we're gonna do is we're probably just gonna aim for their healer right here, right? Just get rid of her so that we can slowly whittle down the rest of their team, and we're just gonna leave Hyde for the last. And what you're gonna notice is that it really does not matter that Hyde is immune to our attacks, because the thing is, we are still going to outlast him. We are still going to deal enough damage to get rid of him eventually. We are just not going to rely so much on debuffs, right? So that's basically it. I might just, you know, speed up this run and you can just observe how long it takes. Frankly speaking, it is super freaking safe. This team is so safe, it is so strong, and it's so resilient as well. And even our greatest weakness, which is immunity, doesn't even matter so much. Okay, I'll be honest, the Rune of Enchantment really helps over here. It really does help a lot, especially for my Zora. You know, regardless, even without the extra DPS, the fact remains that we can still outlast the Hyde. We are still able to survive his attacks. It's not a problem at all. Wow, this is like the perfect enhancement over here. And in fact, I'm actually quite lucky. I actually got like the perfect sets. That this is like exactly what I would want for every single one of my runs, right? The Rune of the Conqueror, all allied espers always have elemental advantage. This is so good. Rune of Pursuit, when an allied esper casts any ability, they have a 30% chance of summoning any other ally to cast a basic ability. So you can actually, like, you know, your whole team can go and attack at once. Okay, we have like one more to go before we hit the boss floor, so we're just gonna like skim through this a little bit quicker. Same strategy over here, just get rid of their healer ASAP, and we are basically done, right? That's basically it. We're done. Just like that. What's this, like a basic minute? Like just on the dot? Or maybe like 1 minute 10 seconds? 48? Oh my god, I have a bad sense of time. Not even 50 seconds, dude. That's so freaking fast. And I'm not even pressing anything. I'm just observing. Okay, this is the last fight. We have a Hyde here. So this is going to be like the ultimate showdown. But the thing is, we're still going to come out strong. So let's just go ahead with it. So some of you guys might be wondering, right? Like, what's the point of autoing Cube 8? Because maybe some of you guys are actually manualing very fast on, like, let's say Cube 7 or maybe Cube 6. Well, the whole reason why you want to auto this is because it generally takes way too much of your time. Like every single day, or at least every other day that you partake in this, it's gonna cost you a lot of time, right? And ideally, you do not want to waste too much of your time doing like a specific grindy stage like this. So having a team that automates everything is going to be very important, I feel, in terms of like the longevity of you like enjoying the game that you're playing. There needs to be some level of efficiency, and I do feel like having an auto cube team is going to be quite satisfying. You can see your team running really well and like, you know, killing very hard to kill enemies like this. And I think to me this is where the joy comes in, just building a team that works tremendously well, something like that. So I don't even need to worry too much about the armor, I don't need to worry too much about the Hyde. And this is of course where the Rune of Fortitude over here, this is where it comes in very handy against like anti-Hyde, anti-Liling, anti-Lewis, that kind of stuff. So obviously it takes a little bit of luck to get exactly what you need. But the thing is, even without some of those runes over there, I am definitely still able to clear this by just autoing everything. So that's basically it. This is the team that I'm running, and honestly, Heng Yue or Clara, it doesn't even matter. They are both exactly the same in most PvE content. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now this has been Daddy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Oh my god. His AoE actually killed my Zora. GG, that's it. 4 minutes, but hands free.